Hi, everyone. I'm Big Al. Once again, time for the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show here on the BluegrassJamboree.com on this beautiful Monday morning. It's great to be with you once again, as we are every Monday morning. I really enjoy spending 3 hours with you all and bringing you some of the best variety of bluegrass music that the music has to offer. Coming up on our inspirational segment, we're going to take a look at the song Amazing Grace. I'm going to tell you about the writer of that song. And then we're going to have the legend, Mr. Dr. Ralph Stanley, is going to sing it in an old-time way. So that's coming up on our inspirational segment. We got some new music, of course. There's plenty of that to go around. Right now, we're going to begin with Ashby Frank and his brand new single. It's been out for about 3 weeks, I believe, but it's called Midnight Highway. So that'll begin the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show here on the BluegrassJamboree.com. Here's Ashby Frank.
They got a new freeway in my town. It just goes round and round and round. And late at night when I'm missing you, knowing there's nothing I can do, the wheels start turning in my mind. There's only one way I can unwind. I'm gonna ride that midnight highway till I find my way back to you. Oh, I know I'm going nowhere. I don't care if I can drive away these blues. There's something about the way I feel each time I get behind the wheel. The way to you becomes so clear, though I know I can't get there from here. I guess I'll just keep rolling on until you find your way back home. I'm gonna ride that midnight highway till I find my way back to you. Oh, I know I'm going nowhere. I don't care if I can drive away these blues. The wheels start turning in my mind. There's only one way I can unwind. I'm gonna ride that midnight highway till I find my way back to you. Oh, I know I'm going nowhere. I don't care if I can drive away these blues.
Way out here they've got a name for wind and rain and fire. The rain is Tess, the fire is Joe, and they call the wind Mariah. Mariah blows the stars around, sends the clouds a flying. Mariah makes the mountains sound like folks were up there dying. Mariah, Mariah, they call the wind Mariah. Before I knew Mariah's name, heard her wails and whining, I had a girl and she had me, and the sun was always shining. girl, left her far behind me. Now I'm so lost, so doggone lost, not even God can find me.
That dancing moon is on the water. Do you feel inclined romantically? And if you do, I think you ought to love someone like me. There ain't no place you should be going. It's a lover's night and the stars are showing, and you could love someone like me. Someone else might try and bind you, but my love will set you free. And if your heart has got a mind to, you could love someone like me. That dancing moon is on the water. Do you feel inclined romantically? If you do, I think you ought to love someone like me. You may think that love won't find you. Honey, wait right here and see that if your heart has got a mind to, you could love someone like me. Someone else might try and bind you, but my love will set you free. If your heart has got a mind to, you could love someone like me. You could love someone like me. Yeah.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in, but something in me held the door wide open. All the signs you're giving, I keep passing, and I'm driving blind, 'cause the truth isn't kind. Part of me knew how our story went. Even before we started writing it, 'cause the beginning was the end, was the end. Months go by, and we both know this ain't right, but you keep telling me that you'll be better in time. Part of me knew how our story went. Even before we started writing it, 'cause the beginning was the end, was the end, was the end, was the end.
There she is, Miss J. Lee Roberts, and the song, The Beginning Was the End. Kind of let the music roll along there just a little bit, get into the groove of it. Before J. Lee Roberts, we heard the new single, Love Someone Like Me, from Zach Top. That's on RBR Entertainment. And the legend, Mr. Bobby Osborne. They Call the Wind Mariah. Started things off there with Ashby Frank. We've got another brand new one here that we're going to play for you, and I'm sure y'all are going to enjoy this. And I know that you remember the Tony Rice version of 10 Degrees and Getting Colder, Tony Rice and J.D. Crowe in the New South. Brand new version of that out now. It's from Dan Tyminski featuring Daly and Vincent. So one heck of a combination. Let's take a listen to the brand new single from Dan Tyminski, and once again featuring Daly and Vincent, 10 Degrees and Getting Colder on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show.
He was standing by the highway with a sign that just said mother when he heard a driver coming about a half a mile away. So he held his sign up higher so no decent soul could miss it. It was 10 degrees or colder down by Boulder Dam that day. Well, he was raised up in Milwaukee, though he never was that famous. He was just a road musician, to the taverns he would go, singing songs about the rambling, loving girls and gambling. How the world fell on his shoulder back in Boulder, I don't know. It was out in Arizona when he heard the lady listening to each word that he was saying, to each line that he would write. So he sat down by her table and they talked about the weather, 98.6 and rising down by Boulder Dam that night. And she told him she would take him for a ride in the morning sun. Back in Boulder, he had told her, I don't know when I've had a better friend. Well, now he's traded off his Martin, but his troubles are not over, for his feet are almost frozen and the sun is sinking low. Won't you listen to me, brother? If you ever loved your mother, please pull off on the shoulder if you're going Milwaukee way. It's 10 degrees and getting colder down by Boulder Dam today.
That is from an upcoming album that's going to be around. It's a tribute to the great Tony Rice, and that was one of the first singles you've listened to from that album, 10 Degrees and Getting Colder, Dan Tyminski, Daly, and Vincent. Right now, here's some Andrew Crawford, this song, Big Montana.
Saw Golden Willow Creek, where the big sky began and folks came from the east. The horses pulled the wagons full of hopes and full of dreams. Outlaws and the pilgrims would soon walk the streets. Branded as deserters, some came from Caroline. Men would bring their families to start a brand new life. Bannock was the place where big riches could be found. Miners spent their days digging nuggets from the ground. They came in search of gold near the Battle of Big Hole, just above the Colorado line. The rush of 62 would uncover something new. They'd leave their homes behind, and Montana's what they'd find. prospectors were put to the test to go beyond the fabled river of the West. Many men would come and many men would die where the Colorado Rockies meet the big Montana sky. They came in search of gold near the Battle of Big Hole, just above the Colorado line. The rush of '62 would uncover something new. They'd leave their homes behind, and Montana's what they'd find. Yeah, many men would come and many men would die where the Colorado Rockies meet the big Montana sky.
Raised up a poor kid, the bad side of town. We thought that the rich man tried to keep us down. We did hard labor for a little pay and swore that someday we would get away. A young man in my teens, alone as I could be. Mama worked 2 jobs, no time for me. Raised on the cold streets, I got kicked around. Was a hard knocks life in a redneck town. Heartache and trouble, quit following me. Heartache and trouble is all I see. Made me the bull of the town. There was no man around here that could take me down. Well, I found me a woman that meant the world to me, but she wouldn't do right, gave me misery. Heartache and trouble, quit following me. Heartache and trouble is all I see. With another man, a rage come o'er me as I clenched my hand. I thought, Lord, forgive me, as he hit the ground. And there was a crowd that was gathering around. It was murder in the first, would be my crime. True love has taken this life of mine. Heartache and trouble, quit following me. Heartache and trouble is all I see. Heartache and trouble is all I see.
Seems trouble finds you when you're unaware, creeps up behind you to catch you lost and unprepared. You better hurry, there's a lot to learn. Ain't no turning around when it's your turn. Once you cross that line, you can't go back. That train only rolls down a one-way track. Once you pass the point of no return, sometimes it's best to not cross a bridge that you're gonna burn. Temptation calls me, whispering in my ear, go on and do it. Looks like the coast is clear, sweet retribution, but you're right to be concerned. Don't ever cross a bridge, you're gonna burn. 'Cause once you cross That train only rolls down a one-way track. Once you pass the point of no return, sometimes it's best to not cross a bridge that you're gonna burn. Once you cross that line, you can't go back. That train only rolls down a one-way track. Once you pass the point of no return, sometimes it's best to not cross a bridge that you're gonna burn. Once you cross that line, you can't go back. Sometimes it's best to not cross a bridge that you're gonna burn.
There she is, EMG recording artist Miss Tina Adair, her latest single, Bridge You're Gonna Burn. And then we heard from Fast Track and entitled track Heartache and Trouble, their EMG recording. And then Big Montana was the name of the song from Andrew Crawford. We have got the inspirational segment coming up right after this instrumental, and I'm going to tell you the story, a little bit of the story behind Captain John Newton, and then we're going to hear one of the greatest songs of all in gospel, and that is Amazing Grace, and it's going to be sung by the legend himself in the old-time way, Dr. Ralph Stanley. So that'll be coming up right after we hear Wilson Banjo Company and Essequina. Today on our inspirational segment, one of the most beloved hymns in our gospel music, and the writer John Newton, the song Amazing Grace. John Newton went to sea at the age of 9 years old after becoming an orphan. He was captured after deserting from the British Navy and was put in irons and publicly whipped. He then signed on with a ship that carried cargo from Africa to America. When John Newton was 23, his ship was battered by a violent storm at sea. Thinking the ship would sink, he decided to turn his life to God. Although he eventually became captain of the ship, he continued to study the Bible. And at the age of 39, John Newton gave his life up on the sea and was ordained as a minister of the Church of England. Now, legends tell us that even as a pastor of the church, John continued to wear the uniform of a sea captain while toting a cane in one hand and a Bible in the other. This great song written by John Newton, Amazing Grace, we're going to hear this from one of our greatest legends in bluegrass, and he's going to sing it in the old-time way. Here is Dr. Ralph Stanley and his version of Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. That saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear. Was grace that taught my heart to fear. And grace my fears relieved. And grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear. How precious did that grace appear. The hour I first believed. The hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years. When we've been there 10,000 years. Bright shining as the sun. Bright shining as the sun. We've just as long to sing God's praise. We've just as long to sing God's praise as when we first begun. As when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. That saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see.
Now that you've logged on to the BluegrassJamboree.com and you're listening to the world's best bluegrass music, you may want to browse our website, thebluegrassjamboree.com. There you'll find information about our radio station, our on-air schedule, bluegrass news, photo albums, links, and much more. Browse the website today, thebluegrassjamboree.com. The best mix of bluegrass, bluegrass gospel, and traditional country. From the stars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thebluegrassjamboree.com.
So long we're through, and it's so long, lonesome, I'll be saying goodbye to you. Well, no matter which way I run to, no matter which way I turn, you're always right there hounding me. You think I never learn, and it's so long, lonesome, so long we're through, and it's so long, lonesome, I'll be saying goodbye to you. Well, it took me a while to lose you. You never leave me alone. But now I can say at the end of the day, I'm standing on my own. And it's so long, lonesome, so long we're through, and it's so long, lonesome, I'll be saying goodbye to you. So long we're through, and it's so long, lonesome, I'll be saying goodbye to you. I'll be saying goodbye to you. I'll be saying goodbye to you.
Something brand new from the Caleb Dartery Band and the song So Long Lonesome here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. Now, if you get the opportunity, you can check out our Facebook page. That's the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show on Facebook. My YouTube channel, I've got 3 or 4 brand new interviews up there. One of them with Peter Rowan, the one you heard last week. You can go listen to it in case you missed it. But my YouTube channel is just simply called Big Al Weekly. You can put any of the artists beside my name, like Peter Rowan, Patsy Cline, Mac Wiseman, and it'll bring it up. So it's on YouTube, and got some new ones on there for you if you want to go listen to them. Right now, something brand new from Dave Atkins' latest single. It's called Cold-Hearted Woman. Here's a great Dave Atkins on Mountain Fever Records.
She's a cold-hearted woman, kind that you wake up and she's gone. She's a cold-hearted woman, and the only thing she'll leave you is alone. Well, she's not the kind of girl you take home to mama. She's the kind that will drive you insane. Once you think you got her figured out, then another side of her will rattle your brain. She's a cold-hearted woman, the kind that you wake up and she's gone. She's a cold-hearted woman, and the only thing she'll leave you is alone. Wasn't warned about her, oh, but I never paid it no mind. Now I'm on the outside trying to get in, and nothing left but her on my mind. She's a cold-hearted woman, kind that you wake up and she's gone. She's a cold-hearted woman, and the only thing she'll leave
Once again, the brand new single from Dave Atkins, Mountain Fever Records, and the song Cold Hearted Woman. Let's take a look at some information about Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen. We've got a song coming up from him, but I want to kind of tell you what he's done. Man, I tell you, that guy's been around everywhere. Frank Sullivan, actually from Modesto, California. He now lives in Alexandria, Virginia. He began playing fiddle and banjo as a youngster. Back in high school, he studied the cello and was second chair in the California All-State Honor Orchestra. In 1995, Frank Sullivan moved to Alaska. He taught fiddle, mandolin, and guitar, played first chair violin in the University of Alaska Symphony Orchestra, helped the Alaskan group Barefoot Bluegrass get their start. He is also a gourmet chef, a hunter, a fisherman, and a leathersmith. In 1996, he toured with the Doug Dillard Band. In 2002, he released his first solo project, I Am a Rambler. And in 2003 and 2008, he played mandolin and fiddle with the U.S. Navy band Country Current. And then in 2009, he formed the band Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen with Mike Munford. So that man's did a lot in his life, and he has brought us a lot of great music, and we're going to listen to one of them great songs right now. Since it is the month of July, I thought this would be a great song to play. So here's Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen, July, You're a Woman, on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show.
Show you what I mean. Na 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 na. Oh, July, you're a woman more than anyone I've ever known. I can't keep my eyes on the white line out before me when your hand is on my collar and you're talking in my ear. Gypsy girl named Shannon, the daughter of the devil. Ain't it strange that I should mention her to you? I haven't thought of her in years. Na 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 na. Oh, July, you're a woman more than anyone I've ever known. Sitting here beside me and I'm drunk out of my mind, merely from the fact that you are here. And I've not been known as the saint of San Joaquin. I'd just as soon right now, baby, pull on over to the side of the road and show you what I mean. Na 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 na. Anyone I've ever known, such a woman more than anyone I've ever known. Oh, July, you're a woman.
sideways in the wind, and the thunder is a rattling my window. Sounds like a train on this tin roof tonight, and the leaves are falling from the willow. It's another sleepless night here in the boondocks. Her memories are driving me insane. It's another sleepless night here in the boondocks, but tonight I'm gonna blame it on the rain. Yeah, tonight I'll blame it on the rain. See the lightning flashing through my window pane, and the moon is a casting scary shadows. I ain't slept a week in 7 nights and days, 'cause the tears keep a-falling on my pillow. It's another sleepless night here in the boondocks. Her memories are driving me insane. It's another sleepless night here in the boondocks, but tonight I'm gonna blame it on the rain. Yeah, tonight I'll blame it on the rain. Screen door slamming is more than I can take, and the chill of her leaving has found me. I'm barely holding on, but I'll ride out the storm, and this memory that rages around me. It's another sleepless night here in the boondocks. Her memories are driving me insane. It's another sleepless night here in the boondocks, but tonight I'm gonna blame it on the rain. Yeah, tonight I'll blame it on the rain. Yeah, tonight I'll blame it on the rain.
Bar in San Antone, she opens the show for a second-rate honky-tonk band.
I said I'd make it by myself. I said I'd make it without his help, and everybody knows that it's my show. I don't need no man. Oh, but didn't we sound good when we sang together? Precious jewel in the wildwood flower, Tennessee mountain home, ain't much fun to sing alone. But he's gone and I'm still out here on my own. I'm still out here on my own. Another girl with another song, another show, and no one knows how hard it's been.
And you can't tell by the look in her eyes if she'll laugh or if she'll cry, and no one knows just where she'll go when the long night ends.
Oh, but didn't we sound good when we sang together? he's gone, and I'm still out here on my own. Oh, but didn't we sound good when we sang together? Precious jewel in the wildwood flower. Tennessee mountain home ain't much fun to sing alone. But he's gone, and I'm still out here on my own.
That is from the album Solitary Diamond, released from Laura Orshaw on Dark Shadow Recording. And she had a duet there with that song on her own. That was her, of course, and Trey Hensley. So great mix there from Miss Laura Orshaw, the Solitary Diamond CD, and it's doing great right now on the charts. Real great at that. Also heard from Hammertown, and that single. We're looking forward to getting another single from that album sometime this month, but Hammertown and the song I'll Blame It on the Rain. Let's drift back to Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers. We all wish this every now and again. I guess we're not supposed to wish, are we? But we do it anyway. Well, the wish is if I had have wrote that song. So here's Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers to tell you all about it.
I picked up my load at 5 o'clock this morning and heading out to Nashville for the coast. Turned on my favorite early morning DJ, heard Ramblin' Fever on the radio. Well, son, right then and there I got to thinking, daydreaming as I drove and sang along. No doubt my lot in life would have been different if I'd have been the guy who wrote that song. I wouldn't be driving this truck if I'd have wrote that song. This old bologna sandwich would be filet mignon. I'd have a Lincoln Navigator and a boat to tow along. I wouldn't be driving this truck if I'd have wrote that song. Flagstaff, half a day before I got back on the road. Them Highway 40 blues, son, I had 'em, but then they played a good old country song. I said to myself, I could have come up with that, and I just might when I get back home. I'd be on Easy Street and in the papers if I'd have been the guy who wrote that song. I wouldn't be driving this truck if I'd have wrote that song. This old bologna sandwich would be filet mignon. I'd have a Lincoln Navigator and a boat to tow along. I wouldn't be driving this truck if I'd have wrote that song. This truck if I'd have wrote that song. This old bologna sandwich would be filet mignon. I'd have a Lincoln Navigator and a boat to tow along. I wouldn't be driving this truck if I'd have wrote that song. do that stuff. And I've just about had enough. I wouldn't be driving this truck if I'd have wrote that song.
Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers. We got more coming up here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show on the BluegrassJamboree.com. We'll be back with a whole lot more, another 2 hours. Y'all stick around. Certainly glad to be back with you here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. This is the album Bluegrass 2022, a bunch of instrumentals released on Pine Castle Records, a great recording of EMD. Now, coming up here in the second part of the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show, we're going to have some very unique music. At least I call it unique. I think the execution of this music, the way these gentlemen play it, and their style, you're going to absolutely enjoy it. And if you really don't like it, you're going to have to respect it, because I tell you, it's great. Tom Baritow is a member of the band Bourbon Revival, and they're going to be with me, and we're going to talk about some new acoustic music. Well, rock music. You've never heard these songs done the way these guys did it. They're from Louisville, Kentucky. So Tom Baritow with Bourbon Revival Band. It will be coming up here in this hour of the Big Al and Sandy Show. Right now, we're going to begin with Rick Ferris on Dark Shadow Recording. He's going to sing a little song called the Moonshine Song, but we're going to take a listen to the rest of EMD here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. Man, it is great to be with you.
just 14 at the Sawyer's Mill when his 40 black Ford raced down the hill. He said, young man, I hear you got some skills. There's a quicker way to pay mama's bills. 2 times the risk for 10 times the bills. Outfoxing the law like I always will. A hideaway cabin with the moonshine still. It's still standing up on Hickory Hill. We went for the sugar in the east at dawn. The sun went down, now the game is on. We cooked all day, now it's stout and tall. Don't need a license if you don't get caught. 2 times the risk for 10 times the bills. Outfoxing the law like I always will. A hideaway cabin with the moonshine still. It's still standing up on Hickory Hill. Headlights were off, but through did shine. Foot to the floor, the engine's screaming red line. 2 times the risk for 10 times the bills. Outfoxing the law like I always will. A hideaway cabin with the moonshine still. It's still standing up on Hickory Hill. Jackson Town. 2 times the risk for 10 times the bills. Outfoxing the law like I always will. A hideaway cabin with the moonshine still. It's still standing up on Hickory Hill. It's still standing up on Hickory Hill. Ride the train. Anywhere I'm going, I ride trains. Sleeping in a boxcar when it rains. Ride the train, ride the train. That old orange blossom special, the Wabash Cannonball. Chattanooga choo-choo, this hobo seen 'em all. I've watched the Santa Fe lay your smoke against the sky. Listen to old number 3 rolling through the night. Ride the train, ride the train. Anywhere I'm going, I ride trains. Sleeping in a boxcar when it rains. Ride the train, ride the train. Pacific, the Overland Express. Up ahead, the coal cars with West Virginia's best. Oklahoma's Frisco, the biggest one of all. Listen to the Silver Speed's lonesome midnight call. Ride the train, ride the train. Anywhere I'm going, I ride trains. Sleeping in a boxcar when it rains. Ride the train, ride the train.
Ride the train, ride the train. Anywhere I'm going, I ride trains. Sleeping in a boxcar when it rains. Ride the train, ride the train. Ride the train, ride the train.
And there is the group that is called Wildfire, and that is Robert Held on the lead on that song, Ride the Train, here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. It's good to be back with you here for the next hour as we get into maybe a little bit of conversation and a little bit of variety. We're going to remember the great Ricky Skaggs. He was born July the 18th of 1954, celebrating his birthday. Let's go back to the album on the Skaggs family record label. The album is called History of the Future, the song One Way Track. So happy birthday to the great Ricky Skaggs.
Loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? Well, she left me this morning, my head hanging low. You can hear that whistle blow. I don't know what I've done, I must have had too much fun. Lord, I hate to see her go. My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? I'm headed down a one-way track, and one-ways don't turn back. They just keep going on and on. It's down in my soul, and I'm about to lose control. And there's just one thing you must know. My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip on down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip on down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip on down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back?
The Bourbon Revival Band has some great music that we're all going to be listening to. They're based out of Kentucky. So with us this morning, one of the members from the Bourbon Revival Band is Tom Baritow. Tom, it's great to have you on the program with us.
Thanks for having me on here. Real excited about this.
Well, I am too, and I run across your music, and I think it's just absolutely fabulous what you do. It's contemporary, a little bit of newgrass, but as we talked, you and I love all bluegrass music, don't we?
Absolutely, yes. We have a lot of history in the traditional and other kinds of bluegrass.
Tom, let's talk about Bourbon Revival. Why don't you take the time and kind of give everybody a little insight on the members of the band and how you got together?
There's 4 members in the band, and one of them is myself, Tom Barito, and then we also have Jeff Baxter and Nathan Livers and Matt Phelps. The way we got together, the band started was with Matt Phelps and myself. We were playing some gigs with, and we're playing a lot of traditional bluegrass, which is a lot of our background in that. And we started discussing the possibility of combining our background, bluegrass background, with pop music. And that was really the beginning of what we're doing now. And we were just going into it really excited about, what might happen with that. We kind of look at it as, pop music is something that, a lot of people are familiar with. And the other part that was really important, I think, was that we looked at these instruments we were playing as instruments that people really love the sound of these instruments, the banjo, guitar, bass, and mandolin. And so it was just bringing those two together. And so it's just been this constant process for the last 3 years. And it's been really well received. People really like what we're doing. It's combining these two different things, the pop music and these really wonderful sounding instruments. So it's been a great journey. We have some varied background. Nathan Livers, for one, plays with Michael Cleveland and Flamekeeper, and Matt's been has played other bands as well. But our bass player Jeff is really a lot of his history is in popular music, so he helps in that regard and others too. But we're pretty much a traditional the instruments in the band. Although I will say we add also a kick drum in our performances and on our recordings. First thought of that was, well, maybe we can get people out there dancing, and it really has. It worked well. Just the overall sound plus having that strong backbeat. People do dance a lot to our music. So
we're talking with Tom Barito, and he is with the band Bourbon Revival Band. They're from down in the Louisville, Kentucky area. Tom, your website is bourbonrevivalband.com, and I must say it's a very elaborate, very well put together website, one of the best I've ever seen. You all do a lot of private parties. You do public events, but a lot of different private parties call you in because of the music that you play. Is that how people get a hold of you, is on your website?
Yeah, that's one of several different ways, but certainly they can go there to send us a note or a request for a performance from us. And, we do a lot of different events. Weddings. Last night was an anniversary. Tonight will be a wedding. We do corporate events, festivals. We've got a number of things set up that are public too, like a Midway Music Festival here in the next week or two. And then we're all over the country right now. We're at Omaha, Nebraska, Wisconsin, West Virginia, etc. So we're really expanding to the point where next year we're starting to ask the guys in the band to get their passport ready because we're looking at going outside the country even. So.
Well, I always tell anybody that loves traditional music. Some folks like strictly traditional music, and that's fine. We all our thoughts and opinions about different music, but I like to expand everybody's horizons. And your style of how you present this music is different than anybody else. We're going to mention a name here, the King of Pop, as he referred to himself. If nobody's ever heard of Michael Jackson, then they don't know music very well because, of course, the Jackson 5, and we lost Michael Jackson a few years ago. But out of the many songs that he has recorded, one of my favorites from Michael Jackson is Billie Jean, and that is a song that Bourbon Revival took on, and I was just totally amazed with it. So kind of give us an idea about Billie Jean, and we're going to play your style of it.
Well, it was a song that was, of course, a big pop music success way back in the early 80s. But it was also just a great song, and we thought, we actually started working on that several years ago and just released a recording here in the last month. But it was quite a challenge. Try to listen to what kind of things were on the original recording and see how we could transfer some of those to bluegrass instruments. And it's been a real fun challenge to do that. And you get some really good people in the band that are able to carve that out, just take those sounds and so adapting that with these instruments, I think it's been just a lot of fun, and that one's done real well. We just released in the last month, and we got like over 1 million different views on Facebook. And quite a few also on TikTok.
I tell you what, let's let everybody take a listen to it. Tom, why don't you take a quick break? The song's about 5 minutes long, and I want them to hear Billie Jean from Michael Jackson. I want them to hear Bourbon Revival Band's total performance on this. And if you want to get you a sip of coffee or take a break, I'll get back with you. You just hold the line, and we're going to let everybody hear Billie Jean, okay?
All right, fantastic.
All right, here is Bourbon Revival Band from Louisville, Kentucky, and the Michael Jackson song called Billie Jean. Y'all gonna get a kick out of this. It is fabulous. Let's take a listen.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused the scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Mama always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do before the lie becomes the truth. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She said I am the one, but the kid is not my son. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was on her side. But who could stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans. 'Cause we danced on the floor and around. So take my strong advice and remember to always think twice. Don't think twice. She told my baby we danced till 3. Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes looked like mine. 'Cause we danced on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood beside me, just the smell of sweet perfume. She called me to her room. This happened much too soon. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She said I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She's not my lover.
There they are, Bourbon Revival Band from over there next to Louisville, Kentucky, and the Michael Jackson tune called Billie Jean. Tom Baritow on the phone with us, a member of the Bourbon Revival Band. Their website, bourbonrevivalband.com. Tom, just fabulous music. You know, you all have a, how can I say this, a traditional touch to your instruments, but it mixes so well with the contemporary and the newgrass. I guess it's because you play it pretty much straightforward. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks again for just playing our song on us. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I think we do have all this is a long background in traditional bluegrass and other types, but you know, we try to keep it in some ways simple and not to get too deep into things that are, you know, harder to digest or whatever. But
if you would, I hear some feedback on you, Tom. If you're on your cell phone, kind of maybe move away a little bit from what you've got on there, because I can hear it feeding back just a little bit. But I'll make this comment. You know, I've listened to your music here in the last couple days, and I think I might surprise you here. I know who did the engineering on this. I know his engineering skills very well, and I bet it was Steve Wilson, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Steve Wilson, sure. Yep, yeah, with Pine Castle. Yep. Right. Yeah.
I've known Steve quite a long time. Him and his wife Melanie are great friends of mine, and when I was talking to Melanie about it, she said, yes, Steve did all that engineering back a couple years ago. And I'm like, whoa, okay. But you all won a contest with Pine Castle, I believe, didn't you?
Oh, that's correct. It was Sam Jam contest, yep. Uh-huh.
So you play private parties. You all sound like to me is going to travel just about any place that you can think of. We certainly want to make sure people have the opportunity. You know, we have a lot of private events over here in this area like everybody else. So you kind of went into some other songs here. The song, I Want You to Want Me. So kind of give us an idea how you picked that up.
We were looking for some classic rock songs from the past, and that one just somehow kind of stuck out to us. It might be a good one we could adapt to, because a number of things go into selecting a song. You know, do we like it? Do we think people would like it? And does it look like it could be done with bluegrass instruments? So that one just seemed like a really good fit, and it's a fun song too. So we went ahead with that, and it was just a lot of fun putting that together. And again, we didn't really want to do things that were too complex. We tried to keep it and really have the sound, the way that song was originally recorded. Try to do something that sounded like that as well, but while combining it with these instruments. So, and it's done really well too. I Want You to Want Me.
If there's anything that you can think of that you would like to say to all of our listeners out there listening right now, go ahead, and we'll finish up with the song, I Want You to Want Me.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in getting us to perform for them, just go to our bourbonrevivalband.com, and everything's there to reach out to us for that. But I don't want to lose an opportunity to just say how much I appreciate you having me on here to represent Bourbon Revival, and really a thank you to you, and then really to all our fans. We enjoy doing this and sharing our music. So, we continue to advertise ourselves as Kentucky's #1 rock and bluegrass band. So,
Kentucky's #1 rock and bluegrass band. I'll remember that. That sounds like a great phrase, a good coin phrase for you all. And I can tell you, you're more than welcome to say anything you want, and we'll definitely get you back on here when we can get an opportunity to get all the boys and get it set up correctly, and we'll get all of you on here, and we'll do this again.
We'd love to do it. Yes, definitely would like to do that, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be on here today.
If you have a private party or you want somebody to come and play the music that you want to hear and make it very simple, these guys can do it. And I do know their website works very well, and they answer their messages because that's how I got a hold of them, is through the website, and that is bourbonrevivalband.com. You tell all the guys we appreciate them and appreciate the music, and I'll be talking with you in just a few moments.
All right. Okay. Sounds great.
All right, sir. All right, here's the song, Bourbon Revival, I Want You to Want Me.
I'll shine up the old brown shoes, put on a brand new shirt. I'll get home early from work if you say that you love me. Didn't I see you crying? Oh, didn't I see you crying? Feeling all alone, not a friend, you know you feel like dying. Oh, didn't I see you crying? I want you to want me. I want you to want me. I want you to want me. Oh, I want you to want me.
One, two, three. Picking my guitar, always in the same mood. I am mostly flesh and bone, he's mostly wood. He never does grow impatient for the changes I don't know, Lord. If you can't go to heaven, honey, I don't want to go, son.
It's me in the key of G, and you can call me Uncle John. Any fool can easily see that we go back a long time. He's some kind of like finding me, and there's no such a thing as the wrong time. He hops upon my knee, singing the Get Out Pops It song time. Every now and then I'm a lonely man. It's nice to know that I got a friend. Puts his power right in my hand, and all I got to do is the best I can, if I can, son. David, I got a bird named Dinah. I got a birthmark on my knee, son, in the shape of mainland China. I got a somewhat southern accent, cause I come from Carolina. And if you wanna find us, we'll be walking right behind you. I hear horns and I hear voices, I hear strains. Seems that I was born with too many choices. What am I gonna do with all these extra fingers, son? It certainly confused me. Maybe a few friends will fall by for coffee. I do a little bit of mule skinner blues. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It's me and my guitar. Talk about me and this guitar. Talk about me and this Martin guitar. Talk about me and my guitar. Bring it off, son.
A little bit of the legend there, the great Tony Rice here on the Big Al and Sandy radio show, and Me and My Guitar. July 23rd, back in 1971, a member of the Grand Ole Opry and the newest member of the Bluegrass Hall of Fame, Alison Krauss, was born. Once again, July 23rd of 1971. Here's a great song from her, and it's called Take Me for Longing.
Don't choose me because I am faithful. Choose me because I am kind. If your heart settles on me, I'm for the taking. Take me for longing or leave me behind. Fire and me because I am kind. If your heart settles on me, I'm for the taking. Take me for longing or leave me behind.
I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. Dig myself a little deeper each time your memory comes around. I'm sinking with the booze to the bottom of a bottle. I'm scared that I might drown. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I can't wait for losing, cause losing's all I do. I lost my mind when I lost you, but I can't lose these blues. My chances of surviving are looking pretty slim, and that light at the end of the tunnel sure is getting dim. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I dig myself a little deeper each time your memory comes around. I'm sinking with the booze to the bottom of a bottle. I'm scared that I might drown. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I never thought a heartache could ever kill a man. After watching you walk out the door, I do believe it can. I never thought that I could hurt the way I'm hurting now. You gotta come back, little darling, before this takes me down. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I dig myself a little deeper each time your memory comes around. I'm sinking with the booze to the bottom of a bottle. I'm scared that I might drown. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I dig myself a little deeper each time your memory comes around. I'm buried at the bottom of an empty bottle and you still lay around. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down. I'm a little bit above 6 feet under. Oh, but I'm still going down.
Hey, Mama, I just called to say I'm heading east. Packed up all of my things, me and my old lover. We didn't work out. Visions I've had are turned upside down. What I thought was a sure thing tumbled to the ground. How was I to know she was running around? I'm leaving my teardrops in Tennessee. Her memory is miles behind. I'll finally be free. Only the lonely just don't work for me. I'm leaving my teardrops in Tennessee. just need to find my head. This ain't the first time I've had to run to you, weeping and crying, so sad and blue. This time, mama, the tears will stay instead, because I'm leaving my teardrops in Tennessee. Her memory is miles behind, I'll finally be free. Only the lonely just don't work for me. I'm leaving my teardrops in Tennessee. Only the lonely just don't work for me. I'm leaving my teardrops in Tennessee. I'm leaving my teardrops in Tennessee.
That young man is on RBR Entertainment out of Nashville, Tennessee. His name's Ben James, and the song you just heard from him, Teardrops in Tennessee. We also heard from Tommy Buller, also on RBR Entertainment out of Nashville, and one of his songs from his EP that is called 6 Feet Under the Ground. And, of course, Alison Krauss, Take Me for Longing, and kind of started that set off there with the great Tony Rice, Me and My Guitar, here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. If you get the opportunity, drop by our Facebook page. That is the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. My website, BigAlWeekly.com, and you can check out my YouTube channel. I've got the Peter Rowan history interview, some highlights of his career that we just put up there on my YouTube channel. We've got the Patsy Cline interview in its entirety on there. And we also added Lulu Roman, one of the original cast members of Hee Haw. She got very deep into her life with me, and we decided to put that up on our YouTube channel. You can type in Big Al Weekly and put any one of those artists besides my name, and it should pop right up there. And we've got the big interview that we had there from Country Music Hall of Fame member Mac Wiseman just before he passed away. And we've received about 10,000 views on that. You can go check that one out as well. Right now, we're going to get this great guy in here, Mr. Jim Hurst, and it's from his latest album, From the Ground Up, on Pine Castle Records. And one of the great singles from that album, I used the word great a few times because everything is great on that album. Here is Weary Old Highway. Here's the great Jim Hurst.
You think after years of just giving it all, while playing your heart out and no curtain call, after large fame and fortune just passes on by, you'd think any rounder would kiss it goodbye. But a few days at home and I'm back in the grind, dead, broken, ornery, half out of my mind, till a call comes in from some old slick I once knew. So I pack up my guitar and shine up my shoes. On a lonesome old highway and a weary old road, my two-lane companion who shoulders the load. Won't you take me right back where I come from before? Weary old highway. Take me back, take me down home once more. It's not for the money when it's never quite there, or packing it out in the cold midnight air. It's not for the glamour of living alone in 1,000 cheap hotels we get to call home. But it's call time at Sharky's on a Saturday night, when the air is electric and the music is tight. It's choosing a pathway that's always been there. With a good tuning guitar, I've made it, I swear. On a lonesome old highway in a weary old road, my two-lane companion who shoulders the load. Won't you take me right back where I come from before? Weary old highway. Take me back, take me down home once more. On a lonesome old highway in a weary old road, my two-lane companion who shoulders the load. Won't you take me right back where I come from before? Weary old highway. Take me back, take me down home once more. Weary old highway. Weary old highway. Weary old
There he is, the great Jim Hurst and Weary Old Highway. We're going to drop back a few years on this particular tune. It'll be the last one here on at least this second hour, and we've got more coming up here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. Going to bring in the great Claire Lynch, and she recorded a version, If You're Ever in Oklahoma. If You're Ever in Oklahoma. So let's go back to a little bit of the past here with the great Claire Lynch.
Slipping around and out of sight. Now they don't care about Dallas, Texas. They don't care about Wichita. But if you're ever in Oklahoma, you better move around the law. better move around at night, 'cause they don't like no transportation slipping around and out of sight. Now they don't care about Dallas, Texas. They don't
make a cheating heart stay true. Called both my friends, they're out of town. They don't know when they'll be back around. So I'm taking the train, it's leaving at 8. I'll be back in Nashville about daybreak. I'm leaving town tonight. As soon as I catch a ride, I'm leaving. Tired of hearing all your lies, all your alibis. I'm leaving, and I ain't coming back. Called the house the other day, wanted to know why you were running late. Said you left this morning about 10:30. Makes me wonder where in the world you've been. I spent half my time looking for you. After today, baby, we're through. Oh, I'm leaving town tonight. As soon as I catch a ride, I'm leaving. Tired of hearing all your lies, all your alibis. I'm leaving, and I ain't coming back.
Just got older and the winter wind blew colder. Every year that I kept hanging on, I tried to find a reason to keep myself from leaving, but all the reasons I could find were wrong. I'm on the north end of a southbound train, looking back across the tracks from where I came. Moving on is bittersweet that way. On the north end of a southbound train. Hey, hey. On the north end of a southbound train. Hey, hey, hey. My roots, they wouldn't grow there. My mind was always elsewhere. That town was not a place where I belong. There'll be no one to miss me with eyes that get all misty. No hearts are gonna break because I'm gone. I'm on the north end of a southbound train, looking back across the tracks from where I came. Moving on is bittersweet that way. On the north end of a southbound train. Hey, hey. Up ahead, no way to know what I might find. But there's gotta be a better place than what I left behind. I'm on the north end of a southbound train, looking back across the tracks from where I came. Moving on is bittersweet that way. On the north end of a southbound train. Hey, hey. On the north end of a southbound train. Hey, hey, hey.
Hi, Hi, this is Steve Wilson of Wilson Banjo Company. Thanks for listening to music from our new album, 6 Degrees of Separation, on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show.
There's a place back in those woods where nothing dares to grow, and they say even the bravest of brave men do not go. It's the holler where they hang Voodoo Queen for her sins. There's shadows in the trees and voices in the wind. She ain't breathed a curse in 100 years, but old folks still say there's reason to fear when the crow comes down. Thunder shakes the ground. It will be too late to pray. She's already on her way. That old blackbird, he was there when she died, or so they say. He was perched there on her shoulder when the lynch mob walked away. She didn't make her bed in hell. That holler's where she stayed. And that crow, he guards a place where his master's noose still hangs. When the crow comes down, thunder shakes the ground. It will be too late to pray. She's already on her way. Lay the brick dust at your door so her spirit can come in. Keep your eyes on the skies and just pray that bird flies right on past you and your kin. When the crow comes down, thunder shakes the ground. It will be too late to pray. She's already on her way. She's the chill in the wind when the fire goes out. Eyes on you when nobody's around. Run and hide and don't come out. When the crow comes down, there's a place back in those woods where nothing dares to grow, and they say even the bravest of brave men do not go.
A big song for Wilson Banjo Company on their 6 Degrees of Separation album on Pine Castle Records, When the Crow Comes Down. They've got a brand new single, should be coming out in just a few days. And as I always say, let's do it a little country-fied, because that's what this single is all about. It's a humdinger of a great single. So we'll be watching and ready to play it as soon as they get it out for everybody, and you can kick up your heels just a little bit. Also heard from Chad DeRue, North End of a Southbound Train, latest single. Started things off there with the Tim Rabin Band and Leaving Town Tonight on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. Well, we're going to go to the master of the banjo, and that is Earl Scruggs. Back July 22 of 1992, George H.W. Bush, President of the United States, presented Earl Scruggs with the National Medal of the Arts. Once again by President George H.W. Bush in 1992, July 22nd. So let's remember the great master, Mr. Earl Scruggs. Here's one of those super instrumentals. It's called the Flint Hill Special. Flatt and Scruggs and Earl Scruggs the Master, Flint Hill Special. You know, we don't play enough of them and remember them enough. Let's go back to one of their great Columbia recordings, and here is My Cabin in Caroline. Here's Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and all the Foggy Mountain Boys.
There's a cabin in the pines in the hills of Caroline, and a blue-eyed girl is waiting there for me. I'll be going back someday, and from her I'll never stray, and that cabin in the hills of Caroline. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of a pine, and that blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife and we'll live a happy life in a cabin in the hills of Caroline. I'm packing my grave for that long, long trip back to the hills of Caroline. I want to see that blue-eyed girl, she's the sweetest in the world, and the cabin in the hills of Caroline. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of a pine, and the blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife and we'll live a happy life in a cabin in the hills of Caroline.
it's late at night and the moon is shining bright, and the whippoorwill is calling from the hill. Then I tell her of my love greater than the stars above, how I love her now and I know I always will. For the cabin in the shadow of the pine, and that blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife and we'll live a happy life in the cabin in the hills of Caroline.
High in a tree on the top of the hill, by the light of the lonesome old moon, I hear the call of the lone whippoorwill singing his mournful tune. And it's high lonesome, heartbroken and blue. And it's high lonesome, just like I'm lonesome for you. Way off in the night blows a lone freight train with the roar and the rumble of the wheel. And my poor heart is breaking with every refrain, 'cause it sounds like the way I feel. And it's high lonesome, heartbroken and blue. And it's high lonesome, just like I am lonesome for you. Do you ever get weary of roaming around? Do you think of the sweet love we knew? Do you ever get lonesome the way I am now? Little darling, I'm lonesome for you. And it's high lonesome, heartbroken and blue. And it's high lonesome, just like I am lonesome for you. Little darling, I'm lonesome for you.
wondering why you went away. Don't tell me that you found another. Say you'll return to me someday. Days are full of lonesome memories. Nights are filled with broken dreams. I'm all alone and so downhearted. I pray you'll come back home to me. Missing you, my little darling. Wondering why you went away. Don't tell me that you found another. Say you'll return to me someday. Missing you, my little darling. Wondering why you went away. Don't tell me that you found another. Say you'll return to me someday.
Return to Me Someday, and that is 615 Hideaway Records artist Joe Hott, and that is his brand new single that you just heard. Also some Longview with that song High Lonesome, Glenn Duncan on them lonesome fiddles. Also some Flatt and Scruggs, Cabin in Caroline. Then we paid that tribute to Earl Scruggs with the Flint Hill Special. Some news in bluegrass. Ralph Stanley II, we call him Ralph too around here, has just signed a new record deal with RBR Entertainment. They're in Nashville. Brand new single just came out, and this single called Back to Virginia. So brand new from Ralph Stanley II.
My Virginia, prettiest place I've ever seen. Sweet Virginia, rolling hills and fields of green. That's where Daddy taught me what I needed to know. Learning about life down dusty roads. Back to Virginia where time was slower then. Clinch Mountain memories danced upon the wind. I might travel far away, but in my heart I'll always miss you. In my mind I'm always going home. Back to Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountain melodies, the kind that Dad and Carter'd sing. Sweetly, Lord, oh how they ring. From the bottom of the holler to the heart in me. Back to Virginia where time was slower then. Clinch Mountain memories danced upon the wind. I might travel far away, but in my heart I'll always miss you. In my mind I'm always going home. Back to Virginia. Man, it's time for moving on. Bury me deep in the hills of home. That's when I'll finally go back to Virginia. Back to Virginia where time was slower then. Clinch Mountain memories danced upon the wind. I might travel far away, but in my back to Virginia. Back to Virginia.
And the new single from Ralph 2. Now we're going to bring his wife in here. Let's just follow up with her single from that album called Christy on 615 Hideaway Records. That single was Heartbreak Hill, because I'm sure she's always in a little bit of a heartbreak when Ralph 2 is gone. So here is Ralph Stanley II's wife. Here is Christy Stanley and Heartbreak Hill.
My cabin door I see the rain, and the fog is thick, but it ain't thick enough to hide my pain. Somewhere o'er the mountain ridge, where the mist won't lift, and I ain't gonna get over you today. Virginia Hills, heartbreak come down. I can't deal, my sweet baby ain't around. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, nowhere to rest these weary eyes. Ain't never been a peace. Living on heartbreak, heartbreak hill. There's only one way in and out. This country shack don't need to tell. Somewhere up by the river bend, oh, he found her and she found him. She's known all over this mountainside for the sin she does and her daddy's shine. But I told my man just to run and hide, but they must have seen her wicked eyes. Virginia Hills, heartbreak come down. I can't deal when my sweet baby ain't around. No, no. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, nowhere to rest these weary eyes. Ain't love a little bit. Living on heartbreak, heartbreak hill. Virginia Hills, heartbreak come down. I can't deal with my sweet baby ain't around. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, nowhere to rest these crying eyes. Ain't love a better peace. Cabin door I see the rain. The fog is thick, but it ain't thick enough to hide my pain.
So you tell me that you're lonely and downhearted.
and you're sitting here crying for your girl. Well, let me guess, I know just how it started. A broken heart can wreck a good man's world. Did the one you love just leave you for another and make the blue sky suddenly turn gray? Was she really good at hiding her true colors? Did she promise you forever and not stay? Well, it's that kind of lonesome when you feel the hurt building up inside. Yes, it's that kind of lonesome. When her memory comes around, that's when you'll find that kind of lonesome, that kind of lonesome all the time. If you don't care if you ever see tomorrow, and you'd be happy not to live another day, is the road you travel on now filled with sorrow? Has every hope you had all gone away? Well, it's that kind of lonesome when you feel the hurt building up inside. Yes, it's that kind of lonesome. When her memory comes around, that's when you'll find that kind of lonesome, that kind of lonesome all the time. Well, it's that kind of lonesome when you feel the hurt building up inside. You got that kind of lonesome. When her memory comes around, that's when you'll find that kind of lonesome, that kind of lonesome, that kind of lonesome all the time.
When nature had her way with that god-awful hurricane of 1938, and the winds tore through the forest with a loud and thunderous sound, left 1,000,000 feet of tall standing timber and ruins on the ground. With horses and with oxen, they pulled those twisted logs from every nook and cranny to the shores of Turkey Pond. Sawmill of iron, steel, and wood, bound and determined to salvage what they could. The days were long and the work was hard. Those men
The lead voice of Becky Buller, and that is the album from Rick Lang on Dark Shadow Recording. The song, They Sawed Up a Storm, a true story that he wrote. Once again featuring Becky Buller, the great Rick Lang here on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show. Eddie Sanders, EMG recording artist, the song That Kind of Lonesome. I'm going to talk about a gentleman here. Some of you have heard of him, and there's always people that haven't heard of Bradley Walker. If you haven't, you're going to hear some great vocals here in just a few moments, but I kind of want to mention a few things about Bradley Walker before we get into the song. He is from Athens, Alabama. Bradley Walker has been confined to a wheelchair since childhood. He was born with muscular dystrophy. He began singing as a child at the age of 3. Now, he attended an Oak Ridge Boys concert, and backstage he sang Elvira with the Oak Ridge Boys. They were so impressed, they invited him to sing on the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon, and he has appeared and performed on that broadcast many times. He was a 1996 graduate from high school. He fell in love with bluegrass. He formed a band called the Trinity Mountain Boys in 1998. His first appearance on the Grand Ole Opry as a guest of Third Time Out was back in 2002. And in 2007, Bradley Walker won the IBMA Award for Male Vocalist of the Year. Here is an album he released on Rounder back in 2006. One of the songs, Life or Love. So if you don't know Bradley Walker, you're going to know him now. Here is one of them super tunes from him. Once again, it's called Life or Love on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show.
Well, I try to stay on the straight and narrow, but I walk the crooked path. I felt worthy of forgiveness and deserving heaven's wrath. Right on the money and off by a mile, ahead of my time and way out of style, but I'm hanging tough, ain't had enough, ain't giving up on life or love. Well, I try to stay away from the bottle, but I reach out to the glass. And I've tried to pull back on the throttle, but I still run out of gas. I've been an angel but never a saint, hung with the devil, don't nobody faint, 'cause I'm hanging tough, ain't had enough, ain't giving up on life or love. Yesterday's history, today is a chance, tomorrow's a mystery, so I'm making plans to keep hanging tough, ain't had enough, ain't giving up on life or love. Keep hanging tough, ain't had enough, ain't giving up on life or love. Life or love.
young lady, her name Morgan Brake, and she is with the IBMA Youth Council. Her version of Wayfaring Stranger, and the legendary guitarist Richard Bennett producing that song. Right now we got the King James Boys from down there in the Carolinas. They've got a brand new single out. They just signed that record deal with Pine Castle Records. And the song, The Devil's Not Afraid of a Dust-Covered Bible. Here are the King James Boys on the Big Al and Sandy Radio Show.
Not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. If we don't use a weapon, how do we expect to fight him? Without the blessed word of God, how can we have revival? The devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. God has commanded, read the scripture every day. We need that blessed word of God to help us on our way. When the devil tries to throw temptation in our path, we need that weapon by our side to fight him every chance. The devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. If we don't use a weapon, how do we expect to fight him? Without the blessed word of God, how can we have revival? The devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. Testify the words within the book, the more old Satan trembles and the more he's overtook. But when that Bible's on the shelf not being reviewed, it won't be shared with this old world. It's up to me and you. The devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. If we don't use a weapon, how do we expect to fight him? Without the blessed word of God, how can we have revival? The devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. Well, the devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible. If we don't use a weapon, how do we expect to fight him? Without the blessed word of God, how can we have revival? The devil's not afraid of a dust-covered Bible.
Of the past, of a love that didn't last, tossed like a ship out on the sea. You told me once you loved me, then you said goodbye. It seems that you no longer care for me. Now I'm blue and broken hearted, thinking of a love that we once knew. Now my love will be gone forever. If I could only stop my heart from loving you. Do you remember the last time that I saw you? You went away and left me here to cry. It was the end of a love that I once treasured. Forget the worried heart and troubles on my mind. Now I'm blue and broken hearted, thinking of a love that we once knew. Now my love will be gone forever. If I could only stop my heart from loving you. could only stop my heart from loving you. If I could only stop my heart from loving you.
There they are, Deeper Shade of Blue, Pine Castle recording artists from the 20 album. And the song that you heard is Blue and Broken Hearted. And I wish we had more time to spend with you, but it's ending up for me, and we got to get on out of here. So, friends, take care. God bless you. Remember, the day is there. All you have to do is make it. That is certainly your choice. Here is the Lonesome Fiddle Blues. Everybody enjoys that instrumental. We never get to hear it completely through its entirety, but we're going to try to do that right now. So let's take a listen of this together. You all have a great week.